What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. You know, it's always interesting to see exactly what competitors do when they take an extended off season. How big will these guys get? Will they make the improvements in order to bring their best the next time they take the stage? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to EP09 Bodybuilding, and Brett Wilkin is one of those competitors. He is currently sitting at 278 pounds as he continues his extended offseason. And this is fantastic offseason shape for Brett Wilkin. He has been close to this weight in the past. Brett saying that he's reached close to about 280 before, but never has he been this close to 280 with this type of conditioning. You can still see just a little bit of separation even in the hamstrings. I think overall, when it comes to the size that Brett was looking at putting on, he does look a bit bigger through the chest. I think the arms have come up just a bit as well. The quads are a little bit harder to say. The teardrops, I think, do look a little bit bigger. That midsection still in check. So overall, I think Brett Wilkin has made some improvements. I still think that there's more improvements to make, but Brett hasn't finished his offseason quite yet. Although he does plan on competing later in the year before the Olympia. Of course, Brett qualifying for the Olympia, winning the Legion Sports Fest. Another athlete coached by Stefan Kinzel, and Brett planning on competing in the summer, maybe even doing more than one show, in order for him to really be able to figure out how him and Stefan are going to work together when it comes to doing a contest prep. And I'm not entirely convinced that that's the right move for Brett. He definitely needs more size at this point, I think it's fair to say. The conditioning factor, well, we've seen Brett come in very, very much in condition, you know, time and time again at this point. The conditioning factor, I don't think is going to be an issue for Brett Wilkin, but the size factor, and he still has time between now and October to really put on more size in order to be much more competitive on the Olympia stage. Of course, that's the goal. So let's say Brett makes it to 290 in the off season, right? If he can bring increased size to the stage with that razor sharp conditioning and maintaining that midsection, this guy can do very, very well in his Olympia debut. Not saying that he'll make top 10 necessarily, because the competitive field is just getting that much deeper as time goes on into the 2020s. I'm telling you, you guys, it is a very deep playing field out there right now. And Brett Wilkin knows it. Although he does have the shape, you know, he has the aesthetics. All he needs is to put on that mass. You guys let me know what you think about this version of Brett Wilkin. Has Brett really made the improvements at this point from a size standpoint in order to really make an impact on that Olympia stage when he makes that Olympia debut? You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. One guy that we know keeps making insane progress from year to year, Keone Pearson, currently sitting at 228 pounds. And the goal for Keone is to continue to improve. You know, it's actually insane to think that this guy continues to put on size. He actually looks wider across the chest and across the shoulders. It's almost like his clavicles have gotten wider, which of course is physically impossible, but he actually does have that illusion with more muscle mass. It really is one of those anomalies in bodybuilding. Keone Pearson is an athlete all of his own. When it comes to improvements, I think that the arms are looking bigger, the chest looks fuller. I'd say a little bit more size of the shoulders is possible. Won't really know that until he really shreds down. The legs, I think that the legs may have come up in size. We haven't seen a lot from Keone when it comes to the leg updates, so this is very telling. And you know, we talk about Samson Dauda being unstoppable going into this Arnold Classic, but Keone Pearson is most definitely on that level of competitors that are pretty much unstoppable at this point. Keone just in a class all of his own. He has the mass, he has the aesthetics, the conditioning factor, unbelievable. And it looks like he's actually getting bigger. I can definitely see Keone going to the Open someday. He has expressed an interest in going to the Open someday. And when that happens, and it's no holds barred for Keone Pearson to really put on as much mass as possible, this guy is going to be trouble for anybody that he stands next to. And you know, to think that Keone was actually considering retirement just a couple of years ago, what a travesty to the bodybuilding world that would have been. This guy is going to go down in history as a legend of the sport. Going after his third 212 Olympia title, is there anybody out there that can stop Keone Pearson at this point? I want to hear from you guys in the comments below. Just how long will the reign of Keone Pearson last? How dominant of a champion are we really looking at here? The 212 division is without a doubt going to be very, very exciting going into the Olympia this year. And a lot of that excitement is definitely going to be around to see just how much Keone Pearson has improved. And improvements is something that Derek Lunsford is hoping to showcase with just a week and a half left to go until his return to the stage at the Arnold Classic. Redemption is what Derek is looking for. Redemption from his third place finish at the Olympia. Definitely not the best Derek Lunsford that we have ever seen. And Derek expressing in the past that he knows that he can be better. And from what we're seeing here, I think that Derek might actually be improved for the Arnold Classic. The legs, we do not see many leg updates from Derek Lunsford, when we used to actually see a ton of leg updates. A very strong point for Derek. From what we can see here, he's going to be dialed in. The legs are looking absolutely shredded in this latest update. We are seeing the detail. It looks like he actually did maybe gain a little bit of size in the legs. Of course, not hitting any traditional bodybuilding pose in this shot. Hard to say if the legs are actually overpowering the upper body at this point. Now, I highly doubt that. I'm not saying that it is, but the legs do look good. And that's one thing that Derek lost going into that 2024 Olympia. The legs just did not look on point. It looks like the legs actually shrunk when he was on stage. This is very encouraging. And I gotta say, he's looking better than I thought that he would. Maybe the change in coaching is exactly what Derek needed. Maybe Derek did need these guys to come in and help him with his training. You know, Chris Cormier coming in and helping. He's got Ramon Dino in his camp right now. Maybe these are the things that are pushing Derek to new limits when it comes to his training. Fabricio Pacho also coming from Brazil to push Derek to new limits. You know, for those of you that have been following the channel, you know what I've thought about Derek up to this point. I did not think that Derek was going to be ready. In fact, all of this stuff with the new trainers and just working with Chris Aceto, you know, the diet choices, you guys know what I'm talking about there. I wasn't very encouraged, but from what I'm seeing here, I think Derek is going to come in better than I thought that he would. Now, I'm not sure that I'm going to change my predictions as of right yet, okay? But I do think that Derek is going to be on point for this show, assuming that him and Chris Aceto can nail that peak. But what about you guys? What do you guys think about this version of Derek Lunsford? Will we see the best version of Derek Lunsford that we have ever seen on an open stage? Will Derek really get the redemption that he's going after by jumping into this Arnold Classic? Based on what we're seeing, is there anyone that has the opinion that Derek can challenge Samson Dauda or Andrew Jack for that matter? You guys let me know what you think about that in the comments below. It's going to be a very, very exciting Arnold Classic. That is 100% a certainty. One last thing before I wrap up, check out BayouMuscle.com and use code EP10 at checkout. I had a fan of the channel, Davey Mize, get a hold of me, who just started a supplement company himself. Sent me his stuff. It's actually pretty good. So anyone out there, especially if you're based out of the US, check it out. Use my discount code to support the channel. Appreciate it very much. But as always, thank you guys for tuning into EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.